Hi friends, hello all. We are back with another video on my channel, Desi Scientist Vlogs. Firstly, I want to thank you because the adulation and love that I have got for all the videos, thanks to you, has been great so far. The number of subscribers have crossed the 2000 mark and it's creeping towards 3000 in a very short time. So I really thank you. And I would like to thank my guest today again, uh, Nagabhushan Murli, uh, whose video I think you can check out in my channel, the last video. His is the second highest viewed video of my channel so far. So I really want to thank Naga also for his nice comments, nice answers. Thank you, Naga.
That is mine.
Welcome back.
Yeah, anytime, man. Anytime.
Like you also shared the video with your family and friends. So what was their answer? Or like what were they saying? Was it good or
Yeah,
bad?
according to my family members, I mean, they started watching the video and they told me that like they never knew when the video started and when it ended. So it was that fast.
Okay.
So
Nice,
so
nice.
that was
Thank you.
their comment, and they want us to do more videos in the future.
Perfect. Perfect. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that we are going to do a series of videos, and then as we had promised to our followers or our viewers, that we will be moving much deeper into different topics now. So today we are going to talk about UPSC and especially the civil services examination back in India. And as you have studied and given the UPSC exam, I think that you're one of the best persons to speak to on that topic because there are lakhs of young Indians who want to get through that exam and to serve basically, right? So if I begin, Naga, what is the main aim of UPSC? What do you think?
Okay. So the main aim of UPSC is to create a system wherein the government is run by a set of generalists. You don't like require specialists to run the government. So generalists with adequate knowledge, with smart thinking, and people who can basically run the system. So that is what UPSC is looking for, and I think it's an extension of the system that was created by the British. Of course, we have made many changes to that system. So the objective of the exam or the objective of the service is to serve the citizens of the country, to run the government, and uh, and to ensure that the society or the country that we are living in is running smoothly.
Great. So basically, once you become a civil servant, your main task is to actually serve the people, right?
Yes.
B- Uh,
Yes.
but then seeing the recent news of various IS officers, not various, but then one or two who who were actually caught in a lot of like scams. Basically, one of the I think one of the UPSC uh, toppers, I think who was or who is an uh, IAS officer in Jammu and Kashmir. I think she was caught with a huge stash of cash. So does it change? Does the system change the guy?
Yes, I think so. In some ways, I would agree with what you said right now. I mean, the system once you're into the system, you get institutionalized. See, like you're starting with the best of intentions. You want to serve the people, you want to serve the country, and you want to have a stable job. Like these are some of the reasons to get into the services. But once you're into it, I think the system, which is a well-oiled machine, when it's been running for the last like 75 years, somehow it pulls you towards bribes, towards corruption, towards all the wrong ways. And some officers, they do fall prey to the system. But there are many officers who don't fall into this trap and who try their best to stay out of it. So I think it is a mix of both. Like you have certain civil servants who are completely subsumed by the system, and there are certain other officers uh, who don't fall into that pit and who still serve the people.
According to you, what is the best way to choose a candidate? Maybe all of them are good in terms of their knowledge, but then in terms of morality, okay, ethics, and in the form of basically going into that system and then trying to make it better, and not like changing on your own, but changing the system to make it better. How can the people who sit on the board for selection can select the right person for the job? What do you think?
Okay. So before talking about what I perceive as the right system, I would just briefly explain the current system. See, in the current system, you have two written examinations. The first one is a preliminary, then you have the main examination. Once you clear both these examinations, you have to appear for the personality test, where like 5 people from the UPSC board, they will interview you. So based on the marks obtained in all these three uh, areas, you'll be allotted a service. So this is the current system. And as you pointed out, I mean, the system, it has not always uh, generated ethical candidates. Somehow, candidates who are not ethical, they also find their way into the system. To fight that, I would say, instead of like relying on one exam, uh, see, it can be a process wherein a candidate is tested over a period of time, say for 1 year. He's given different tasks. He's given different moral like dilemmas, and the candidate should be judged based on that. But the problem here is, as you know, our country in terms of population is probably the largest country in the world right now, and the aspirants who appear for this exam, so that is also huge. Maybe 10-15 lakhs appear for the exam. So to filter so many candidates and to assess them over a period of time for maybe 1 or 2 years, it's not feasible. Like we don't have the money or the resources to recruit people or to judge people over an extended period of time.
Mhm.
So that's the reason why we have like one single exam where the candidates are filtered. But the ideal way of selection, according to me, is a candidate should be judged, or he should get into the service only after proving himself over an extended period of time. So give
Wouldn't
like frequent tests, practical tests,
Yeah.
and see if his moral integrity is good enough for the job.
or probably the government or the civil services themselves can have some law, right? Where if IAS officer or like the civil servant is actually caught doing wrong things, and then basically he or she is connected with different scams, I think that there should be strong laws also for them.
Yes. We do have strong laws to punish such people. We have Prevention of the Corruption Act, like 1988, wherein the punishments are strong. But the problem is, these cases, it drags on for like many years, and civil servants who are caught up in these cases, they also have a strong lobby. So through that lobby, they somehow escape punishment, and they're back into the services. So yeah, the existing laws are there, but the loopholes in the laws, I think that should be plugged.
Right, as you yourself mentioned, there are lakhs of youth who want to become civil servants back in India, because the job has prestige, the job will give you respect, the job will give you a certain sense of leadership. You can be in charge of a huge place or a huge part of a state, and then you can actually change it, right?
And also the
Plus,
job security.
yes, plus the security is there. Even the salary right now is good, I think, right?
It is.
So as there are so many aspirants, uh, this video should probably tell them what is the best way. Of course, we cannot go through all the aspects right now, like within 1 hour, but I would want you to tell the viewers what are the streamlined options to go for. So my first question is that what made you prepare for the UPSC? The first thing is that.
Okay. See, what made me prepare for the exam? It has to do with my background, my family background. My father, he was into the services. My uncle was into the services. My another uncle was also into services. So I was surrounded by people who were civil servants right from a very young age. I think that it really gave me the motivation, and I was exposed to the services at a very young age. Basically, when something is there in your family and in your extended family, you tend to have certain inclination towards that. So in my case, it was the same thing. I think that affinity or that inclination, it started from my family, but I did not initially have it as my career choice, because I did work in the mining industry, and then I gave up the job to prepare for the civil services. But right from my childhood, it was always there, in some corner, I would say, of me, that I have to prepare for this exam, or that I have to be a civil servant in the future. And I would say it's mainly because of the exposure that I got during my childhood.
Okay. I think I think that that is the main aim, right? If your family is in a certain domain, you would want to do well in that domain also, because when you see your father or your uncle, like you just see them and you want to become like them. So, what is the best way to prepare? Is it going to a coaching institute, getting that help, getting those notes, or even nowadays we have the self-help sites basically online where you can find all the things. So what in your view is the best way to like learn?
Okay. See, the beauty of this exam, you don't have uh, one particular way to prepare, or there is no proven method to ensure a candidate's success, right? I think that is the beauty of this exam. So different people, they have their own strategies, they have their own preparation methods. ultimately what matters is whether you clear or not. So different strategies, different thinking, I would say. See, in my case, if you ask me, going to the coaching institute or preparing on your own, see, again, I would say that it it really depends on the level of exposure you have from a young age. See, for example, if you're exposed to the newspaper, if you know what is happening around you, if you're strong in that area, like right from your childhood. So childhood in the sense I'm saying when you are 12, 13, 14, from that till you complete your college, if you have the basic idea about the society, about the politics, about what's happening in the country, then your basics are set. So you don't really need anyone to really guide you. So you just have to pick up the UPSC syllabus, and after that you can pretty much prepare on your own.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, if you do not have any exposure to this exam, you just want to become a civil servant after completing your college, or you're working somewhere, and suddenly you have this thought of trying civil services. See, in that case, I would say that like going to the coaching institute or getting help uh, from uh, from the coaching institute people, I think that can be helpful. See, because if your basics are not strong, then it will take a lot of time for you to do self preparation and to get that area right. See, whereas if you go to a coaching institute, uh, like they will have the material like ready for you. I mean, the basic material, and the tutors there. I mean, they will make the subject much easier for you. See, because this exam is also about time. You have 1 year to prepare for the exam or whatever, and you can't lose time in getting the basics right. So yeah, so if you have some exposure, I would say that self preparation you can pretty much do it, because you have all the resources available online, and your basics are already strong. If you do
Okay.
not have that exposure,
Mm-hmm.
I would advise getting the help of the coaching institutes.
So basically, what you're saying is that both self-help and coaching is fine, but then like it's on you, right? At
Exactly.
the end of the
Mhm.
day, it's on you. How hard are you able to work towards that goal of yours, right? So
Correct.
how much is the it's probably well known that if you want to crack civil services, you have to study for at least 2 or 3 years. That is the minimum because the syllabus is so massive, so huge, like uh, basically all the subjects. It's so massive. So, what is the time frame for a perfect preparation in order to crack it in the first attempt? Maybe not in the first, maybe the second. But what is the time frame for that? And how many hours per day or per week one should give to the preparation?
Okay. See, again, I think it's a myth uh, that you need 3 or 4 years to clear this exam. So I think if your preparation is in the right direction, if your basics are sorted out, you can clear this exam in 1 year. So like, you don't really need 2, 3 or 4 years to crack this exam. So again, it really depends on you. If your basics are set right, and if your preparation is in the right direction, then 1 year is enough. Which brings me to the second point, like how many hours you have to prepare in a day. See, again, it really depends on the productive hours that you put in for this exam. See, you can study for 10, 12, 14 hours a day, but if it's not uh, that productive,
Mhm.
then I mean, like there is no use. You can like very well prepare for 6, 7 hours a day, and you can still clear this exam. So like what you're going to study and how much time you're going to like devote to each area of the syllabus, I think that would decide your success.
Mm-hmm.
So like preparing for 10, 12 or 14 hours, see, I don't think it really matters. 7 hours a day,
Do you?
focused preparation,
Right.
and also see, this exam is about smart work
Mm-hmm.
as much as it is about hard work.
Mm-hmm.
See, you can work hard. Almost everyone works hard. Once they're into the preparation phase, like any serious aspirant will work hard. But smart work, it really differentiates.
So, how do
Yeah.
you, as the syllabus is huge, how do you remember all the dates or all the places, basically, uh, all the all the things that you have to remember, because there are so many names, so many places, so many things, so many, uh, basically, if you are giving the exam in physics, right, there are so many laws. So how do you remember it? Because that becomes a challenge, right?
Okay. See, in this exam, like UPSC doesn't really, test you on names, dates. I think that era of UPSC is long gone. That was probably in the 80s and 90s. In the current pattern, in the current exam like scenario,
Mm-hmm.
like you don't like really get factual questions. The factual questions are, I would say, like bare minimum.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the questions are like analytical in nature, and you don't really have to by heart stuff. You'll
Okay.
probably get maybe 3 or 4 questions that are purely factual.
Okay.
So yeah, like UPSC is aware of the fact that maybe candidates in the 80s or 90s, they had cleared the exam by rote learning. So it has evolved. I mean, the exam and UPSC has evolved over a period of time,
Mm-hmm.
and now the exam is more dynamic, and the questions are really analytical. So you don't really have to worry about like
Okay.
remembering uh, who was the king in 1400.
Right, right.
So
Okay.
yeah, those
So
questions are not
there
asked
are
anymore.
there are like three different stages, right, to actually become a civil servant. So first is the
Yes.
prelims, then comes the mains, and when you when you are in that short list of names after the mains, after that they will call you, and basically they will try to judge whether you are capable or not.
Yes.
So, basically, let's then start from the first stage. So in the prelims, firstly, can you shortly describe what is the type of exam like how many questions, whether there are multiple choice questions or whether you have to write, and then what is the best strategy to actually study and then pass that exam?
Okay. See, preliminary is uh, an objective type exam, right? You have 2 papers. The first paper is called the general studies, and I'll just briefly like discuss about the syllabus of the general studies. You have multiple areas like history, Indian polity, geography, economy, environmental science, and current affairs. So these are some of the main areas, and you'll have 100 questions, right? 100 questions for 2 hours, and the negative marking is 1/3.
Okay.
So for example, if you make one mistake, minus 0.33,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, so yeah, I mean like minus 0.66. I'm sorry, because each question carries 2 marks.
Okay.
So this is the pattern of paper one. Paper two is qualifying in nature. It is an aptitude exam. I mean, paper two, which you will write in the afternoon session.
Mhm.
It is like qualifying in nature. You have 80 questions, again, like 2 hours. So 1/3 is the qualifying mark. So only if you qualify paper two, mean, they will evaluate your first paper.
Mhm.
So, and like paper 2's mark is not added to your like final score. It is just a qualifying paper. So whatever you score in paper 1, so that decides whether you qualify for mains. So generally the cutoff for qualifying mains, and that is paper 1 score, it will be in the range of like 95 to 110 across years, around like 95 to 110, which means your like net number of questions right out of 100 should be 47 to 55. So this is like including the negative marks, including the negatives. I mean, the net number of questions that you have to write in order, I mean, like the net number of questions that you have to get as correct is around 47 to 55. If you get that, you'll probably get qualified for the mains exam. So this is the pattern of the preliminary exam. And for the preparation, since it's an objective exam, you have to take like many mock tests, because as I already told you, I mean, the questions are objective in nature.
Mhm.
Out of the 4 like multiple choice, so for example, like they'll give you like 4 options. I mean, the question will be there and 4 options will be there, but the answer will be 1 only, 1 and 2 only, 1, 2 and 3 only, 1, 2, 3 and 4.
Okay.
So it's not like direct objective where you just pick one option and you get 2 marks. Most of
Okay.
the questions will be 1 only. Option A will be 1 only. Option B will be 1 and 2 only. Option C will be 1, 2 and 3 only.
Okay.
So it will be like tricky in nature. So the majority of questions will be like that. And the preparation like strategy, I think most of the aspirants, they make this mistake and they end up wasting 1 year. So if the UPSC aspirants are watching this video, please don't make this mistake. Don't start your preparing exclusively for the preliminary exam. Most of the aspirants, they spend the first 7 or 8 months like preparing for the preliminary exam, and they don't like focus on the mains. The actual game is the main examination. So you have to simultaneously prepare for the prelims as well as the mains.
Right.
It should be an integrated form of preparation. You have to like combine both. See, for example, if you're studying maybe 7 or 8 hours a day, the preliminary preparation should be only for 3 to 4 hours. I mean, the rest 4 hours should be for the mains.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to like divide your time in such a way that you give equal importance to both. See, if you're not giving importance to mains, you prepare for 8 months, maybe you'll clear the preliminary, but you will be completely lost with mains, because once you clear the preliminary, you'll hardly have a couple of months to appear for the mains exam. And trust me, 2 months is nothing. I mean, it's
absolutely like
for the main syllabus. You can't even complete one paper in 2 months time. So
okay. So
so that is the preliminary exam. Yeah.
Moving on to the mains, what is the time difference between the prelims and the mains? You mentioned 2 months.
Yes.
But then will you just try to explain that before the mains, what should the people do? Like basically how to revise, and then how many times they should revise? Because I will mention again, the syllabus is huge, and UPSC is considered one of the toughest exams in the world. So number 1 is that. Number 2 is how to pick the optional subjects for mains.
Yeah. See, for the main examination, the exam pattern is of the descriptive type, right? You have like 15-mark questions and you have like 10-mark questions, and you don't have choice. So, see, meaning you have like 20 questions. So 10 questions will carry 15 marks, and 10 questions will carry 10 marks. So the total marks is 250. So you have to attend all the 20 questions. So there is no choice. So whatever question is asked, you have to answer it. So this is the pattern of the mains. And it's quite different from the prelims where you have multiple choice, and it is it is objective in nature. Whereas the mains exam is like subjective in nature. And also mains is not like restricted to one paper. See, this general studies itself has like 4 papers in UPSC mains. You have like paper 1, paper 2, paper 3, paper 4. Each paper carries like 250 marks. So the syllabus is split across like 4 papers, right? So so this is one part. Then you have to pick an optional subject, and there are more than 20 optional subjects to pick from. And optional subject also has paper 1 and paper 2, so 250 marks each. So 1000 plus 500 optional, so that's 1500. Apart from this, you have the essay paper, which is another like 250 marks. You have to write like 2 essays, and it's graded for like 250 marks, so that's 1750. So like these are the papers. Apart from that, similar to the preliminary exam, you also have like qualifying papers in the mains. You have to qualify English, and you have to qualify one like language paper. I mean, the language paper is your choice. It can be Hindi, it can be like regional language. So basically, all the the official languages of the Indian Union, it is listed there. So you can choose any one paper, and you have to qualify this paper. So only if you get the qualifying marks in English and in the language of your choice, they will like evaluate your 4 like general studies paper and your 2 optional papers and your essay paper. So this is the pattern of the mains exam. And talking about the optional subject and how to pick the optional subject, again, it really varies from one aspirant to another. See, like you might be like really strong in one subject, or you might be like naturally inclined to pick one subject, but that subject, it might not be a very high scoring subject in UPSC. So for all the aspirants, what I would say, see, apart from what you like to study, or your inclinations, of course, that plays a part in picking your option, but keep it as like 15 keep it as like 50% in deciding your optional, your inclination or your liking. So that should be 50%. The other 50%, I would suggest the aspirants to check the syllabus of whatever subject they want to choose. Go through the syllabus completely, and see if you have the resources available to prepare, the books, the notes, or whatever. Check if those materials are available. You can talk to your seniors, you can talk to the past aspirants, you can talk to the coaching institute people, like they'll give you an idea. And also, the most important thing, you have to go through the previous year papers, at least 3 or 4 years paper of the optional that you're going to choose. See, it's not like necessary for you to know the answer to the questions being asked. See, because you're yet to start your preparation. But once you see the previous year question papers, and once you see the syllabus completely, I think you'll get an idea of whether you can really pick this as an optional and score high marks. So 50% go by your inclination or your like liking. Other 50, I would say it's better to stick to the demands of the exam. Go through the previous year question papers thoroughly. Check if you have adequate resources to prepare. Go through the syllabus thoroughly, and then choose your optional.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what to do during the main exam? Like I'm saying that during that week or those days, the candidates are really tensed. So, will you suggest them to like still do their studies, or just basically just close the books, just whatever you have studied before, like it's done, like it's enough. And during the exam week, like you should just go out somewhere, or probably just chill out. So what to do? Like, what is the strategy to actually do well in the mains?
Okay. See, this exam UPSC, especially mains, it is a marathon, I would say. It's not a short sprint. It's not a 100-meter or a 400-meter race. It's a marathon. See, as I told you, when you start your preparation from day one, you have to start preparing for the mains as well. So don't start your preparation thinking that I will clear the preliminary and then I will start preparing for the mains. No, it doesn't work that way. From day one, you have to start preparing for mains. So if you prepare from the first day, and yeah, and another important thing for mains, the writing practice is very important. Most of the first time aspirants, they ignore the writing practice, and once they appear for the actual exam, I mean, their like writing skills, it will not like match up to the demands of the exam. See, because you hardly have 3 hours, like 180 minutes, and you have to attend like 20 questions, right? So that's 8 to 9 minutes for one question. So, I mean, the moment you see a question, you have to understand the demand of the question, and you have to like put your thoughts on paper, and you have to do it like within 8 to 9 minutes. So that is very, very, very difficult if you don't have like prior practice. So like write as many papers as you can, like right from the first day, like practice over and over and over. So you have to do this for at least a year. Every week you give a mains paper. Every week, if you prepare one topic, just like time yourself, have a stopwatch, and do this writing practice. It will really help you when you're close to the mains exam.
Right.
Okay, so if you prepare for like 1 year, if you do the writing practice, if you're adequately prepared, the final week, see, like even though you want to like relax, or you want to go out, they mean the exam doesn't work that way. Somehow you'll be like really caught up with your preparation. See, because like no matter how confident you are, like no matter how advanced you are in finishing the syllabus, something or the other will come up in the final week where you feel that you haven't like really prepared well. Uh, I can vouch for maybe 80 to 90% of the aspirants. I mean, like despite preparing well for a year, they still feel that they are inadequately prepared in the final week. See, that is inevitable. I mean, it's because of the pressure. It's because of the vastness of the syllabus. So, in the final week, what I would suggest is for the aspirants to revise like whatever they've studied for the last 1 year. Just have your own notes, and see, like you don't have to go through the textbook page by page or like word by word. Just go through the notes that you have prepared on your own. I think that will really help you. See, because when you go through the notes that you have prepared, you would have probably written some keywords, you would have like written some
Yes.
codes, like you would have like written some data, or whatever. So that will really help you in the actual
How do
examination.
you how do you actually then, so once a candidate passes the mains, so how do you prepare yourself for the final round, like the
Okay.
interview round? Because firstly, if you can just give the feeling of how it is, like how many people are there, or probably who are there, and then what sort of questions they might ask, and then how to prepare for it, whether to make yourself or your personality better, or just be yourself. So there are so many questions, but then if you can just explain it in gist, that will be great.
Okay. See, the UPSC doesn't call the final round as interview anymore. It's called as the personality test. So it was earlier called as interview, but they changed the name, I think maybe 10, 15 years back. They've now named it as the personality test. The final stage, which is the personality test, it can be quite challenging because you don't have a particular syllabus to prepare from. I mean, the previous stages, at least you have a syllabus to go by. But here you don't have anything. It's a test of your personality. They can basically ask you like anything under the sun. They can ask you about your interests. They can ask you about general knowledge. They can ask you about your childhood, your schooling, your parents, whatever. So it's entirely up to the discretion of the board, and you can't really uh, prepare in a very specific manner. Having said that, you can't go there without any preparation. I think that is the irony of the personality test. As regard to the preparation, see, I would tell the aspirants to be relaxed. See, because you've cleared the preliminary, you've cleared the mains, which means you've already acquired enough knowledge to face the board. And out of the lakhs of people who clear the preliminary and mains, only like 3,000 people are called for the interview. So you're already there. So uh, you're already in the top like 3,000. So you just have to feel like confident about yourself and give as many mocks as possible. I mean, the mock interviews. I think this is one area where the coaching institutes can be really helpful because they conduct multiple mocks. So you can attend, I don't know, 4 or 5 mocks, before the actual interview. I think that will get you prepared. And about the interview and the board, you'll have like 5 people in one board, and all these people, they are government servants. They can be serving IAS officers, they can be serving IRS officers, IPS officers, they can be like retired officers, all like senior persons in the government. I mean, they'll be most of them will be above 50. I mean, your age, it'll probably be their experience. So they are really experienced people. So that'll be the board, and yeah, I think I've explained the board and the interview.
So, uh, of course, many people give it, but only 1 or 2% pass and become civil servants. For the rest, and 98 to 99% of the people, uh, what what is the suggestion? Basically, if they want, they can look at different options in life, or how many years they should give, because there are people who actually give 5 to 10 years also of their life, and even after that they might not succeed, which is quite sad. So what do you suggest to all those 99% of the people?
Okay, I think that's the best question of the day. Because yeah, like, as you rightly pointed out, in UPSC exam, I mean, the number of people who don't clear the exam, that is much bigger than the people who end up clearing. So we have to focus on people who don't clear. See, if you don't clear the exam, don't get like disheartened. Because like knowledge is power. Like whatever you've acquired over a period of time in this UPSC preparation, it will like, definitely help you in your life. So knowledge will never go waste, and it's something that no one can steal from you. I mean, they can steal your wealth, they can steal your money, they can steal your other like material health, but your knowledge is here. So that like no one can take it away from you. So be confident, and always have one thing in mind, that whatever you've studied, it's going to help you in your life in some like way or the other. And see, this exam, it makes you a tough person, I would say, because you're preparing for maybe 2 3 years, and I mean, the amount of mental strength you need to sit at home to prepare when your colleagues or when your friends are going for job, they're earning money, they're putting food on table, but you are like sitting there on the desk and preparing. And when you don't clear, you just have to like repeat the process again from the preliminary. So you have to like restart from step one. So I think that I mean this process, it will make you a very tough person. Uh, you can probably face any setback in your life after this. If you don't clear UPSC, that's not the end of life, right? You can as well get a job in some other field, but the mental like toughness that you've acquired from this exam, that's going to really help you in your life. Like no matter the situation in the future, like no matter the setbacks or the failures that you face in the future, you will be prepared to face that. I mean, this exam will prepare you in such a way. So it will make you a mentally tough person. And the knowledge that you acquired, I think that will give you an edge in the private sector or whatever sector you choose as a career after giving up the UPSC preparation. So if you don't clear the exam, like never worry. Always have one thing in your mind, that hard work will never go waste. It will like it will eventually give you the fruits of labor.
Yes, and as they say, knowledge is power. So knowledge doesn't go to waste ever. Even if you fail UPSC or you pass UPSC, that should be taken just like a challenge in life or a step in life. Someone might pass, someone might fail, but then knowledge should always be the main goal. So on that note, thanks a lot, Naga, for joining me on this very nice chat that we have. I'm sure that the viewers will like it, and I'm sure that we will be also meeting again very soon to actually talk on different topics in life. So great. I thank you. Any final comments?
Yeah, thank you so much, Pandip, for having me.
Thank you.
I mean, the amount of effort that you put in to bring people to discuss the various topics to really educate your viewers, that's really commendable. I think you're doing a great service to all the people out there, and I hope to attend like more sessions with you. And as a parting comment, I would say that see, UPSC is a process. If you get through that process, well and good, your life is settled. You can serve the country, you can serve the nation. You have a stable job until you retire. But if you don't clear, there is nothing to worry, because sky is the limit. See, the process would have shaped you in a way where you will shine in any field that you're into. So yeah, so that is my parting comment, and thanks again for having me. It was great talking to you, as always.
All my pleasure, Naga. Thank you for giving me time, giving us time. So yeah, hope to see you very soon. So please like, share and subscribe, viewers, and whatever comments you have, good or bad, please do comment on the channel link so that I can make the videos in a much better fashion and then bring in much better guests in future. So thank you. See you again, Naga. Bye bye.
Bye, Pandip. Bye.
Bye.